Tonight.
Happening now.
Here at this Prattville school, teachers and students are remembering a young girl who was taken too soon. Her story coming up.
A police chase speeds through Montgomery neighborhoods. The suspects police were after and what started it all. Fire marshals confirm what started a deadly fire that claimed the life of 3 young children. An ethical standard for teachers, why some gifts from students will do more harm than good.
Coverage, community, commitment. This is WSFA 12 News at 6.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Valerie Lawson. Bob Howell is off tonight. Well, it's been 3 days, and the shock and grief of losing a classmate are still being felt at Prattville Intermediate School. 11-year-old Joy Carlisle died when the van she was riding in collided with a car at Interstate 85 and South Court Street Sunday. Since then, students have done more than just talk about her passing. WSFA 12 News reporter Brian Henry has the story.
The grief of losing 11-year-old Joy Carlisle is still overwhelming at Prattville Intermediate School.
What's another example?
Especially for teachers like Suzanne McPherson, who taught Joy math.
She asked lots of questions. In fact, one of the students, in a note that they wrote about Joy and put on the tree, said, "Next time Mrs. McPherson asks a question, we'll answer for you."
In one classroom, there's an empty chair where Joy used to sit, and a hole in Patty Connor's heart.
She would always leave my room and tell me, "Goodbye, Miss Connors, have a great weekend."
She'll be missed.
Model student.
Yes.
Joy's memory is still very much alive at Prattville Intermediate. About 50 of her classmates created a memory tree, and on that tree, a personal message from each and every one. Not only did they create a memory tree, but 50 students here wrote letters to the family. In short, the students wrote personal condolences and talked about how Joy was a friend to all.
It says that they are compassionate. They understand the loss that her family is experiencing, because many of them said something to the effect that, "I know your loss is greater than ours." And so they're very aware of it, and they're very compassionate.
Give me an example.
McPherson and Connors don't recall Joy ever talking about what she wanted to be when she grew up. They are certain, though, as someone who showed early signs of leadership, Joy Carlisle would have made a difference. But from the looks of this memory tree and the letters the students took time to write, it's clear she already had. In Prattville, Brian Henry, WSFA 12 News.
Joy Carlisle's family is requesting donations to help with funeral expenses. An account has been set up at Any Regions Bank in the name of Joy A. Carlisle Estate. The little girl's funeral is set for this weekend. New information from Bullitt County. We now know it started a deadly fire in Union Springs. The state fire marshal's office says one of the children was playing with the lighter. 4-year-old twins Jadarius and Jalea Smith and 13-month-old Tanaya Shell died in the fire. The mother of the twins, who was watching the 3 children, left them alone briefly to visit a neighbor. The case will be submitted to a grand jury to consider possible charges. Well, it began at a bank in Fort Deposit, but ended after the suspects led Montgomery police on a chase. Police followed the driver through Montgomery neighborhoods, eventually stopping the car they were after and arresting the suspects inside. On top of this developing story, WSFA 12 News reporter Jennifer Orvich, she's live at Montgomery Police Headquarters to update us on the investigation. Jennifer?
Valerie, the suspects, 2 male, 1 female, all face 2 charges each, attempting to elude a police officer and reckless endangerment. This is how most people realized a chase was underway in the Eastern Hills neighborhood. They were turned away as residents were turned away from their homes. Now, police were in hot pursuit at that time of 3 armed and dangerous suspects. The car chase even damaging a patrol unit. The overwhelming police presence putting most neighbors on edge.
I grew up over here in about 6 blocks that way. I've been in this neighborhood most of my life too. I mean, it's like you said, it is a pretty quiet neighborhood. We ain't used to stuff like this.
There's confusion, you know, what's going on, where is it? Is it my house? Is it my children? Is it my parents? There's all kinds of questions running through people's head, but hopefully we've done a good job of getting the danger to the community in custody and the residents of this neighborhood reassured.
Those 3 suspects are still in Montgomery police custody. They should be transported to Fort Deposit any minute now. Valerie?
All right, thanks a lot, Jennifer. Now, we are still working to identify the suspects. There is no word tonight on what potential charges they face in Lowndes County. Covering news out of Dallas County tonight, a Selma man sentenced for his crimes. Ronald Cooper pled guilty to murder. Cooper admits to shooting and killing Kevin Stallworth, a security guard at the 12th Stone Club in Selma on New Year's Eve. Police tell us Cooper got into an argument with his girlfriend and pointed a gun at her. Stallworth stepped in and was shot by Cooper. A judge sentenced Cooper to 30 years in prison. Also in Dallas County, a jury finds 20-year-old William Goodman guilty of attempted murder. According to authorities, Goodman beat and robbed a 74-year-old man. The other defendant in the case, Jonathan Pitts, pled guilty and received a 35-year sentence. Goodman will be sentenced in a few months. Two Montgomery teens will spend decades behind bars, both convicted of murder. A judge sentenced Marvin Gadsden and Sandriquez Hall to 30 years in prison. Authorities say Gadsden and Hall were involved in a drive-by shooting in 2009. Terrence Ponder died. Gadsden and Hall are also suspects in the Oak Park shooting. The State Ethics Commission today filled us in on what we can and can't buy public school teachers for the holidays. These rules actually apply to all state employees and officials. Raycom News Network political reporter Max Reese tells us you can buy them gifts, but there are some boundaries.
The Ethics Commission approved some guidelines for students and parents to follow when giving gifts to public school teachers. Don't worry, gift giving is still okay. Based on today's ruling, the entire class can pitch in on a present like a gift card or a turkey. Things of minimal value from students like coffee mugs or picture frames, those are fine too. And finally, individual students or their parents are prohibited from giving any gift of major cash value.
If that gift card is donated by a number of students in the class and they've all tossed in $2, $3, $5 and so forth to get to that $20 gift card, yes, you can take it.
These rules aren't limited to teachers. They go for all of the nearly 300,000 state employees across Alabama. Another part of this opinion worth mentioning is tickets to high school sporting events like big-time football games. Free tickets to those events for faculty and staff within that school district are fine. The commission got hundreds of calls about that matter, and commissioners say they hope this clears up things for the next school year, Val.
All right, thanks a lot for the update. All tickets are things of value. That means Auburn and Alabama can only give free tickets to their own faculty and staff for their games. 70 years ago today, thousands of Americans died in a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor. Today at the state capitol, flags are lowered at half-staff in honor of those who fought and died. Governor Robert Bentley issued a proclamation recognizing the day. Inside Alabama's legislature, the state's Constitution Revision Commission back at work today, looking at ways to streamline and improve the long document. The group discussed the legislature's role in the state, particularly the topic of home rule, whether counties can make certain decisions on their own. Former Governor Albert Brewer chairs the commission.
I think that they should decide their own fate, and that means some would opt to remain like they are now. Others would want varying degrees of home rule. I'm not sure anybody would want absolute home rule.
Now, the commission also discussed when lawmakers and other elected officials take office as well to determine how much representatives and senators can get paid. A distinct national honor is given to a local architectural firm. Why they made this prestigious list. And it's the first of its kind in the state, and it's right here in Montgomery. What makes this location unique? Coming up.
Auburn's defensive coordinator leaving the Plains. We'll tell you where Ted Roof is heading later in sports.
Would you like to take a look at temperatures very quickly? Let's do that. With temperatures right now hovering around 40 in many areas, but that's only part of the story. The wind chills are really plunging. We'll take a look at a cold night ahead. Coming up.
Downtown Montgomery is looking for a facelift, and contractors can find top architects right here in the capital city. McAlpine Tankersley Architecture ranks in Architectural Digest Top 100 Talents in Architecture and Interior Design. The firm has been in Montgomery for 28 years. Staying in the South allows the firm's partners to spread what the South has to offer.
The South has a certain kind of eccentricity as well as charm, and we enjoy sharing the Southern warmth all over the country.
Architectural design is no small town paper. It's been published for decades, and the AD 100 is a list that recognizes the best and most innovative firms. The Goodwill Industries of Central Alabama had its ribbon cutting on Bell Road in Montgomery this morning. The Goodwill is a place where you can drop off things you don't need, like clothes or toys, and others can buy them for a discounted price. You still have a few weeks for your donations to help with your taxes.
It's the end of the season. People want their tax receipts, so get in your closets, donate before the last day of December, and you'll be able to have that tax write-off for your taxes.
The new facility is the first for the state. It is the only one with a drive-through drop-off. And we're only 2 days away from helping thousands of families across the river region. 12's Day of Giving is this Friday, and one of the 3 charities we plan to help is Toys for Tots. By bringing an unwrapped toy to the Chantilly Walmart, you will help the U.S. Marine Corps fulfill the Christmas wish list of a little boy or girl. Toys for Tots is one of the country's oldest Christmas charities. It started in 1948. This year, the organization plans to help more than 3,000 children, and they're not worried about collecting enough toys.
People always want to help, and it's always kind of towards the last, minute, but just like we have next week and this week, so it's kind of like tight and kind of scrunching in, but, people find ways to come out and actually, give. Even if it's at the last minute, we always find a home for that specific toy, so.
12's Day of Giving also benefits Christmas Clearinghouse, and the Montgomery Area Food Bank will be collecting food, money, and toys Friday at the Chantilly Walmart from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. Please be sure to stop by if you can. Well, it's been a raw December day that even featured some snowflakes in North Alabama. Chief Meteorologist Rich Thomas says bundle up for a cold winter's night.
Now your Dr. 12 Storm Vision forecast from Chief Meteorologist Rich Thomas.
All right, then. This is a night when you have to dress sensibly, and by that I mean a jacket is just not going to cut it tonight. Trust me. I mean, you need to have a hat, you need gloves, you need the scarf, the whole deal, and like I said, dress in layers too, because it's not just the temperatures which are falling into the 30s now. It's the wind chill too. Well, let me show you what we're. First of all, you see the camera shaking a little bit. That's because our tower cam is zoomed into the Capitol Dome right now, and the camera moves in the wind, and it's windy. I mean, it's northwest at about 14, gusting higher, and the temperature right now at 41 degrees, which means the wind chill is in the low 30s. And today's high temperature only made it to 49. You know when the high was? The high was at midnight last night. That's right, we've been going in the wrong direction today. We're in Andalusia right now, courtesy of Andy Cable and Wayo Radio. This is the Covington County Courthouse, and you can see 40 degrees with a northwest wind at 14 miles per hour as we look at the traffic on the square. And today's high temperature, again, that was at midnight at 52. All right, so here's the deal. The clouds hang in. Now, we did see a few peaks of sun today, but basically, I think, you see the clouds go all the way back into Mississippi? I think the clouds hang in most of tonight, and I think the clouds are going to be here tomorrow morning until we get into some improvement later on in the day. All right, the precipitation is out of here now. In fact, even some snowflakes in North Alabama. You heard about that, didn't you? There was enough to whiten the grass across much of North Alabama. Hey, portions of Tennessee had 5 inches of snow, and portions of Arkansas and North Mississippi as well had some snow, and now the winter weather advisories are into the Smoky Mountains and farther up the Appalachian chain, and that's where the problems will be tonight, with temperatures now ranging from 39 in Birmingham and 40 in Selma to 40 in Greenville, where they just well, they got the tree lighting going on right now, 18 minutes after 6. It started at the top of the hour at 6 o'clock. 42 in the Eufaula area. And these are wind chills right now. Look at the difference. It feels like 31 in Auburn. It feels like 31 in Troy, 33 in Greenville. You get the idea and why you need to dress in layers tonight. Now, Future View clears us out tomorrow morning, but I'm not so sure. Not so fast, Future View. I think the clouds will hang in there in the first half of the day, and then we'll start to get some improvement after that. And then that will boost temperatures into the 50s, and here comes another reinforcing cold front that tries to come in as we get into Friday night. Doesn't have any precipitation with it, but it will drop Friday's high, which will be in the upper 50s, more to the low to mid 50s as we get into Saturday and Sunday. Meanwhile, the wind speed's not as high tomorrow, in the 10 to 12 mile an hour range, maybe gusting a little bit above 15, but not going up to 30 miles per hour like we had earlier today. Meanwhile, we're looking at your 10-day forecast, always available on your smartphone. It's a great weather app, and it's free. High school football, that game coming up on Saturday, looks like great weather with temperatures in the 50s, and it looks like sunshine will be the dominant feature, and 12's Day of Giving, the weather is going to be absolutely perfect. We'll see you out there. Our forecast for tonight, plenty of clouds, clear, breezy, colder, overnight low temperature down to about 30. Tomorrow, clouds early, then sunshine, high 53. The wind's not as gusty as today, and on your Doppler 12 storm vision forecast, we're talking about 57 Friday. Then we fall off just a little bit Saturday at 54 for a high, and then still in the low to mid 50s on Sunday, but dry, another dry weekend. Dress in layers, very important in this kind of weather.
And especially if you're coming out to 12's Day of Giving, you don't even have to worry about getting out of your car, because we'll do that. So.
And that's going to be a warmer day, too.
Yeah. Good. Well, get out of your car then, in that case.
Come see us.
Well, the Auburn Tigers looking for a new defensive coordinator. Could Alabama be losing an assistant coach as well? And the Alabama All-Star team packed with players who will be competing against each other in future Iron Bowls. Sports is next.
Now, WSFA 12 Sports with Jeff Shearer.
1 year after coordinating the defense that helped Auburn win the national championship, Ted Roof is leaving the Tigers. AuburnUndercover.com reports that Roof will become the defensive coordinator at Central Florida, reuniting with his former boss at Georgia Tech, George O'Leary. The Tigers defense struggled from start to finish this season, giving up huge chunks of yards, especially on third down, to the frustration of Auburn fans. No word yet from Gene Chizik on a potential replacement or Auburn's plans for the defense for the Chick-fil-A Bowl against Virginia coming up in 3.5 weeks. Alabama's coordinators also might be on the move. That's what happens when you play for the national title twice in 3 years. Reports that Tide offensive coordinator Jim McElwain is in the mix for the head coaching job at Memphis, and the Dallas Morning News reports that Bama defensive coordinator Kirby Smart has interviewed with Texas A&M for their head coaching job. So far, both play callers still employed in Tuscaloosa. And even if you don't get the new job, sometimes it pays to stay. Just ask Terry Bowden. He's signing a 1-year contract extension to remain at North Alabama after being mentioned for a few other gigs. Bowden's won 29 games in his 3 seasons at UNA, leading the Lions to the Division II playoffs all 3 years. This week they're teammates, but for the next 4 years they're going to be arch rivals. They're the Alabama All-Stars who have committed to play college ball at Auburn and Alabama, including number 44 Daphne superstar running back TJ Yeldon, who plans to graduate high school in a couple weeks and enroll on the Plains in January, taking part in spring practice and getting a head start on the next step.
Yeah, start right away, just get bigger, get in the weight room, get bigger, faster, stronger, learn the playbook, and just hopefully get opportunities to get a lot of playing time early.
I guess the idea behind the early enrollment is to contribute in the fall, I guess, right?
No, I just had to go to high school. I couldn't take it no more. High school was boring. I can't take it.
The word for that, I think, is senioritis. Future Alabama stars also ready to shine, like TJ's teammate at Daphne, big Ryan Anderson, number 46, and Tyler Hayes from Thomasville, number 38. Perhaps they're the next great Crimson Tide linebackers, following in the footsteps of guys like Dante Hightower, Courtney Upshaw, and Nico Johnson.
I always hang out with them. They cool. I mean, like, we all know each other very well, so it'll help later on in life. And, like, the more people we got committed to Alabama, the better we'll be.
There are also some future Troy teammates teaming up on the Alabama Stars. A couple playmakers, number 88, receiver Cody Core from Auburn High, and number 5, athlete Brandon Burks from Daleville. They should help fill the Trojans' need for speed. Meanwhile, the Mississippi Stars practicing at Huntington in the cold this morning with that nasty wind. Alabama's gotten the best of this rivalry in recent years, winning 3 in a row and leading the all-time series 17-7. Extra motivation for Mississippi? Not necessary.
It wouldn't matter if they won 33 in a row. You play this game, you want to win. Both teams do. It don't really matter how many ones won in a row or how many, the kids, it's a different group of kids every year. These kids weren't in this game last year. It's a different group from both states, and these are kids that have been chosen this year opportunity, and they want to win the year they're there.
We're expecting much better weather and hopefully a big crowd Saturday at the Bowl. But if you can't make it out, you can see every play live here on WSFA 12 starting at 12:30 Saturday, part of the Raycom Sports Network that will be broadcasting statewide and in Mississippi. And Val, I was out at both practices this morning, and those guys have my respect because it was not warm out there, and they were getting after it.
It's such a great opportunity for them.
It truly is.
The cold, damp weather continues tonight. Rich has a final check of our weather coming up. Stay with us. But first, here's a check on today's stock report. So if you're heading out tonight, don't forget to grab your coat, your hat, your scarf, your boots.
Rich said to wear shorts. No, he didn't. He didn't say that at all. Let's take a look at, I'll take you to Tallahassee right now. And in Tallahassee, courtesy of Prime South Bank, we're at 40 degrees right now. But the wind is, it says west at 7 at the moment, but it's been gusting. I've seen it gusting 15, 20 miles an hour as you're looking at the bridge there and the dam in Tallahassee. And what a night it's going to be. So dress in layers, and we will update a very cold night for you at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, those high school all-stars players are out there playing in this weather.
Well, they're out at Wind Lakes tonight having a big dinner. Monday they went on the riverboat cruise. Last night out to the zoo, so they're having more fun than
the law allows. Well, that's it for WSFA 12 News at 6. We'll see you again at 10 o'clock.